Well, next, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has won a second term in an election dominated by the question of how to deal with an ever more powerful China, which has long threatened to take the self-governing island by force. Ms. Tsai said Beijing should recognise the will of Taiwan's people and promised jubilant supporters that she would preserve Taiwan's sovereignty. Our China correspondent John Sudworth has sent this report from her victory rally in Taipei.
Not long ago, she was struggling in the polls. Now she's being swept to a second presidential term. Her strategy? Rallying voters to a single cause.
To show that we can be against the communists. Yeah, so this is really important to us.
Has China been a factor for you?
I think, yes, it's my reason to vote, to defend our country.
Beijing's attempts to pressure President Tsai with renewed threats to take Taiwan by force have badly backfired.
Do you think you have the Chinese President Xi Jinping to thank for this victory?
The Taiwanese people insist on protecting our democracy. I hope China gets the correct message as a result of this election.
There is, in fact, a great irony to these celebrations. Beijing's authoritarian vision of a greater China wholeheartedly rejected in the one place that actually gets to vote on it.
She's promised to stand up to China. The risk is it will only antagonise it further. John Sudworth, BBC News, Taiwan.
And Bonnie Glaser is the director of the China Power Project at the CSIS think tank. And as you can see, she's with me now. Thanks very much for being with us, Bonnie. So there we go. Taiwan has spoken. They've completely rejected China. How do you think China's going to respond?
Well, China certainly won't be surprised by this outcome because the polls showed that Tsai Ing-wen was likely to win a landslide victory. But I think that they will not conclude that it's impossible for the DPP to be defeated in the future. That's, of course, Tsai Ing-wen's party. Because, in fact, they'll look at the vote in the legislature, which was held the same time as the presidential vote, and they'll see that the party vote, there are 34 seats in the legislature that are these party votes that are just people vote separately for single-member districts and also for party. And they will see that the DPP and KMT won almost exactly the same percentage. And they will conclude that the support was for Tsai Ing-wen. In other words, the KMT chose a bad candidate that didn't win the support of the people. But in fact, there's still support to some extent for opposition parties.
That's interesting. Do you think then that China's simply going to essentially just wait this out?
And yes, that's exactly what I think. The mayor of Taipei, also his new party, the Taiwan Progressive or People's Party, also won 11% of that party vote. So that's another person that maybe Beijing can work with in the future. So okay. I do think that they will wait this out for the next 4 years.
And can you just clear one thing up for us? You know, this threat of force, which sounds extraordinary, is that a real potential threat? Would China actually use military force against Taiwan?
I think there are certainly circumstances in which Beijing would use military force if they felt that Taiwan had the ability to get away, to become independent. I don't think that they have that fear. And I believe that the slowdown in China's economy, the ongoing Hong Kong protests, the tensions between China and the United States are all more important issues for Xi Jinping, and I don't think he is going to put unification through military force on the front burner.
I see. Fascinating stuff, Bonnie. Thank you very much, Bonnie Glaser there. Thank you.
Thank you.